Hello, welcome to the stream. David Snowpick here from Snowpick Games. Welcome, Orthodox Caveman. You didn't actually get a very caveman-looking character. I mean, a little bit. There's definitely some characters that the overlay can generate that are much more caveman-like. By the way, so I have something to say. Hey, Ricardo, welcome to the stream. You got more of a knight-ish character. Some good armor going there. I like to mention, but I've frequently been forgetting lately, that the overlay is a Godot app that we built on stream about a year ago. I think we should probably do a stream soon to fix it, like make it a little better, because it hasn't gotten a lot of work lately. Particularly, hey, The Clean, welcome to the stream! Oh, you are like a bearded warrior or orc. You are like a veteran of the orc army. Yeah, I'm always talking about how we need to add a thing where the characters fade away when you don't say things. And yeah, maybe we could try to sneak that into today's stream if we get done with things quickly. Maybe, I don't know, we never seem to get done with things quickly. Anyway, how are you guys doing? How has your week been? My week has been exhausting for a number of reasons. I started a big project this week, which has been, you know, starting something new always takes a little bit more energy than just working on things you already been working on. And then, like, this was the first, like, full week of school for my kids. They had 2 days of school last week, so it was the first full week, and that's been kind of stressful. They've been not sleeping very good either and keeping me up, and so I don't know. I'm out of it. I'm totally out of it. Ooh, hey, Devlog Logan, which you have some devlogs now, right? I remember there was the discussion of your Devlog Logan with no devlogs, but I think you have some now, I think, right? Welcome to the stream. You got a cool orc with the horns and maybe not the best shirt for a orc warrior, but still looking good. Anyway, I now have an array of screens. That's something new by me. I guess technically I have 4 screens because I have the 2 screens I use, my laptop one, and then the drawing tablet here, which I can now actually use as a drawing tablet on the stream. See, I can take the pen, I can draw a little picture. I don't think it'll make my drawings that much better, but I'll feel better while I'm drawing them. Logan still doesn't have some devlogs. Yeah, I mean, you have some good tweets of things you're working on. I guess those are like devlogs in the modern era. You know, like people are talking about they're using TikTok to make devlogs and to make tutorials, which kind of like blows my mind, like game dev tutorials. I think Mrs. was talking about that. Like, how do you even do that? I mean, maybe Mrs. can, because he's got those like really fast-paced like videos, but yeah, mini devlogs. And I will. But yeah, otherwise, I haven't worked too much on personal game dev stuff. Really, the main things that I've been doing outside of work game dev is trying to advance WebXR in Godot 4. I've gotten kind of stuck on this bug that prevents WebXR from working at all in Godot 4, which there's like a one-line fix for. There's a one-line fix for. It's not a good fix, but there's a one-line fix. I expanded that a little bit with like a kind of refactored fix, but Bastian, the XR maintainer of Godot, wanted to like really fix it the air quotes right way. Well, it's good to do things the right way, so we're doing it the right way, but it's turning into this huge endeavor, which hopefully will get finished soonish. I mean, things always take longer than I think they will. But then hopefully I'll be able to dig into really getting WebXR working in Godot 4. But yeah, it's all good, exciting stuff. You guys have any updates on your projects or what's going on? Otherwise, yeah, I mean, I'll talk a little bit while I'm waiting for you guys to chime in with your news about the state of the project since the last stream. I kept this whole week wanting to work on it. I kept coming up with these ideas to work on it, and then I'd start, and then I'd just be too tired. Or I'd get interrupted by needing to go do something for the WebXR stuff, like I'd get some feedback or review, and like, I gotta go respond to that. So the current state of it is totally broken. There's like 2 big refactors I want to work on today. Not big refactors. It's a tiny app. You can't have big refactors with an app this small. But like right now, it's not running at all. So we'll get things going with this first refactor and see what we've got from there. Logan says TikTok is an incredible platform for getting eyes on a game. Miz was working on a really weird, grotesque game. Yeah, his games. I love Miz's, but I can't play his games. They're too gross for me. Which absolutely exploded on TikTok. I don't think he's been doing tutorials. He mentioned doing tutorials, I think. I think he said he was doing it. I don't know. Yeah, advertising rot flesh. Yeah, TikTok's so weird. My daughters watch TikTok on their phone sometimes, and I can't. Like the fact that it's like a thing and then another thing and then another thing, and it just keeps coming at you so fast. Like I just get tired. My brain gets exhausted. And it also makes it very hard to monitor what they're watching because they're real little. My daughters are 7 and 5, and like there's some weird stuff on the internet. And when it's YouTube, it's much easier to tell what they're watching. When it's TikTok, like they watch like 200 things in like 10 minutes, and like I don't know what all that stuff is, and it's hard to keep track of it. Yeah, I've been seeing your stuff, Ricardo. You got the being able to put in a new physics engine with GD extension. You've been doing some awesome stuff lately. Oh, cool. I would love to see Box 2D actually like just slot it in as opposed to having to use new nodes and new methods and stuff. That's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to testing that out. Well, let's make some stuff, guys. So the 2 refactors that I want to do is this autocomplete dropdown. Its code was like really interwoven into the code of the main scene. I wanted to break it off into its own scene and make it a little bit more reusable so I could pull it into other projects more easily later. Because I like autocompletes. I like them. They're nice. And then the other thing I wanted to do was that the main scene is starting to get out of control as far as complexity. The code is just full of state changes, essentially. We exist in a bunch of different states. I think I even have a num representing it. Yeah, I do. The timer state, whether we're stopped, started, or interrupted, and there's different things that need to happen when you're transitioning between the different states, and that's a state machine. And so rather than having this sort of hacked together spaghetti code in num state machine, I wanted to convert it to use the little state machine library that I use for my games, which essentially breaks the states up into different nodes with scripts on them. Because I sort of hit a critical flaw in some of the changes we made last time. So we last stream, half the stream we worked on Postgres stuff, which was adding some stored procedures and triggers and things to the database to make sure that we can't have invalid data in the database. And then after that, we worked on I don't remember stuff in the Godot end. But what ended up happening is like if there's a timer running and you start the app, it's impossible to do anything if a timer's already running, right? Because the app starts up in the state of there's no timer running, and then you try to start a timer and it'll talk to the database like, oh no, you can't do that. There's already a timer going. And so the solution there is basically to ask the database what's going on and then switch the UI of the app to that state without actually like doing the actions. Just say, okay, this is the state I should be in. Let me enter that state and then carry on from there. The problem is the state stuff in here is like so hard coded. Like you can't get from let's say the stop state to the interrupted state without pressing the start button and having all these things happen and pressing the interrupt button and having all those things happen. So I'm thinking the state machine, once we refactor it, is going to only control the UI. So we'll be able to say, just tell the state machine, go into the interrupted state. These are the state variables, do it. And then the UI buttons will be the things that actually talk to the database and take action, like the signals on the things in the UI. And that way, when the app starts up, we can call the database, say, what is my state? Tell the state machine, go into that state. And then from there on, like whatever you do, whatever you touch, click, whatever, will take actions and change the state in response to it. That also means we should be able to connect up to the Supabase real-time API, which would be really cool, like totally not essential, but really, really cool, because then we could have like 2 instances of the app open, and on one of them, click start a timer, and the other one should get the real-time event that says, hey, a timer started from the database, and change into the timer started state. And we can, have these 2 synchronized instances, which would be nice. I mean, if I want to have the app running on my computer, but then also on my phone, and then I like go for a walk, and like I realize, oh, I forgot to stop my timer, and then on my walk I can take out my phone and hit stop, and it stops it. That'd be cool. But since this is just for me personally, totally unessential. All right. So let's dig in here. The first thing is this autocomplete drop down. I started doing this a tiny bit. Like I said, I started it and then like stopped because I was tired or whatever. And the thing that I'm thinking is we'll have this little data source class, which we're just going to use this array data source child class of it, where we just give it the list of activities. And then if we want to have those activities update, we'll connect to the Supabase real-time API and just like add them and remove them from the array, and that's fine. But I could imagine if you had like just a huge data source, like a data source with like 2 million records or something that existed in the cloud, you wouldn't want to have all of it in an array. You'd want to make like a custom data source class that actually like, called to the database and got the items back. And now that I'm looking at this class, like it totally wouldn't work for that because we'd need to return a coroutine instead of the actual items, but whatever. We're gonna put part of the architecture in place to handle that. But we're not actually going to implement it today. That's cool. I'm kind of hoping once I get this autocomplete scene and code started that if I need it for another project, I can copy it in and maybe extend it for the needs of that project and kind of build up a little UI control. I have another UI control that I've used in a couple of different projects that I really like. It's in Retro Tank Party, all those things where you have like an option and then an arrow to the right and an arrow to the left. I love that control. I don't know why, but I just love it. It like works really good for mouse and for controller input. Anyway, that's aside the point. So yeah, let's refactor this guy. We are going to need a couple of properties that we want to do in the inspector. So we'll do some export. I guess a string var. This will be for the label. We want to be able to set the label. I guess it defaults to label. We'll make a set get set label. Because yeah, we're going to want to be able to drop this control in, change the label. Ideally change what's on the button, but I don't really care about that at this point. We'll put a down chevron icon in there at some point. I think that's probably the only thing that we want to configure right now is this label, and then we'll want to be able to set a data source, but that's not something we can do from the inspector unless we wanted to make the data source stuff be resources, which would also be really cool, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Keep it simple. So let's make this set label accessor here. And we are going to use our little scene grabber guys, or actually, let's not do that. Let's do an onReady var. We'll say label node, and we'll do that with the what is that, scene unique nodes. I just don't like having to type the scene unique node syntax in Godot 3. In Godot 4, you can just write like this, and I thought we were going to get that in Godot 3.5, but it just doesn't work. I don't know if anyone knows the story with that. If that was like a back compat thing or something. But or if I have to turn, no, it wouldn't make sense to turn something on because why would you want the scripting language to be different when you're, I don't know, but whatever. Nope, get rid of that little colon. All right, and then we will do the thing where we say if label node is null. We'll do the little not yield, or yeah, yield. Yield. What is the? Is it just ready? We'll wait till it's ready, and then we'll go label node text equals p label. Oh, and we want to also set. Say if label does not equal p label, then we do all of the things. Ah, welcome to the stream. Do you know a good 3D Godot course for beginners? I've seen too many 2D. That's a good question. Does anyone have a good suggestion? I don't know that I ever personally did a 3D tutorial, like just a generic 3D tutorial. When I learned Godot initially, I did a whole bunch of 2D tutorials, and I've done like I've watched 3D tutorials about individual things, like here's how to make an FPS camera or whatever. But I don't know if there's a good, just like here's 3D in Godot. Does Heartbeast have something? Heartbeast's tutorials are amazing, but I don't know. JNL, so this chat works with the stream. That's pretty cool. Thank you. It is pretty cool. I like it. Oh, actually, here, JNL, you've been contributing to the Discord. I'll give you the trusted role so your chats will actually appear on the screen. Heartbeast doesn't do 3D. Okay. I know GD Quest has lots of great tutorials. I just haven't personally done a 3D one from them. I don't know. I hope you guys have some good suggestions for All right, we need a data source. We'll say data source equals, and we'll default this to an array data source. Or no, okay, hang on. I want this to have the type of the parent class, and I want it to have an instance of the child class. Okay. I don't know if that necessarily makes the most sense, but we'll do it for now. And now we need to start copying some code from the main scene. There's some inconsistency here with the chat syncing to Discord. I'm just noticing Discord's only getting some of the chats, and the rest of the chats. Okay, I guess I'm gonna try and watch chat through the restream chat thing, because some stuff got missed. That sucks. Restream, get your act together. JNL, how do you become trusted? I just give you the role trusted. Ambaras, hopefully that's a good one. Another idea for the app is a resisted temptation button. Ooh, to log when you were tempted to get distracted but didn't. That is a good idea. I don't know how that would like factor into the reporting exactly. I guess the reporting's a whole area. Like the reporting's almost the most important thing of the app, and I haven't even gotten to it. But yeah, that's a cool idea. I will keep that. I'll keep that on the list. Okay, so we need to copy some of the signals and stuff from here. Yeah, so what do we got? Activity, all these activity list button, refresh activity menu. This will need to be represented in some way. All of these. All of these. All of this code needs to move over. So I'll just delete it. I'll very optimistically delete it. I just accidentally posted my stream key. Luckily, it won't work now that I'm already streaming. Those are the one-time stream keys from Restream. Hey, Crabsoft, welcome to the stream. Hey, Adrian, welcome. I gotta see some of the characters. Oh, Adrian's got a big beard and the captain hat. Looking good, sir. I actually didn't look at my character before. Was I always a cave lady? I guess I'm a cave lady. Grabsoft has got the jester hat with the beard. That's looking pretty good. Oh, J&L also got the jester hat, but you got some sort of scepter. You're king of the jesters. So use VS Code for GDScript instead of the internal editor. Is that just because you're very used to it being a web dev, or because you find it better? So I actually started using VS Code in C++, and I was using different editors, usually Vim or PHP Storm when I was doing PHP. But I like Vim key bindings, so that's really the reason. But I'm getting, the more I use VS Code, the more I like it. But I just enjoy being able to, hit, the keys that I'm used to hitting in Vim and have good things happen. So that's the main reason. All right. So here's all the methods. We need to get the signals connected to the right places. And actually, let me rename some of these. So, and let's get some of these onReady variables set that I know we're going to need. So activity. Actually, not activity. We're removing activity from everything. We're going to call this pop-up menu. Pop-up menu goes to pop-up menu, I think, with that casing. Yeah, probably. And we also need the field, the edit field, which I guess we're just calling line edit, I think. Yeah. Line edit. And what else? Do we need the button? I don't think we need a button. All right. So refresh activity pop-up menu is going to become refresh pop-up menu with a filter string. The filter string is going to get cleaned. We will clear the pop-up menu. And then a bunch of this stuff doesn't need to happen because it's handled by the data source. So we'll say for item in data source get items. This is the data source class that we made up here to abstract the idea of data for this widget. Filter. And then we don't need this because it's up in the data source now. And we just add the items. Looks good. Now, when the button is pressed, so let's call this on button pressed, it's going to refresh the pop-up menu. And then here we're actually going to need to change this. So in the not refactored version, the version where it was just all one-off code, all hard-coded, we had the pop-up menu sized, like I sized it in the editor here. So we're going to need to size it to be the same width as the line edit, and then I guess we should have a max height that we want it to be. So that could be another thing that we set in the editor. So export float var. Do we want to set a max width too? I feel like we do. Say var, we'll say max pop-up dimensions. And we'll set those to 0 as kind of a default. If it's 0, I guess we will just not have a limit. And yeah, so let me just drop it to do in here so I remember to come back to it. This will be, hang on. We can make this code work, and then I'll put a little note that says to do. Resize pop-up menu to correct dimensions. All right, and then we'll finish just changing this code and get all the things hooked up before I forget to do that. All right, so and this will be on pop-up menu, index pressed, text equals pop-up menu, get item, and then activity field is now called line edit. And this one is on line edit, text changed. pop-up menu, timer button. So we won't have the timer button in this like completely, segregated scene, but we will, I guess, want to we'll need some kind of signal to tell whatever scene is using this that we are now doing something that makes us want to disable things. So what is this exactly? So line edit text change. When the text changes, we hide this. Why are we disabling the timer button? Oh, because there's no text. Okay, so what we really need is a signal for, we'll say, text changed, similar to the signal on line edit nodes. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? This is a signal. There we go. Text changed. So, you'll want to hide the pop-up menu. You don't want to do this. These things only happen if there is actually text. So that will be refresh pop-up menu. We want to pop up the pop-up. We want to grab focus in the line edit. That was a bug we worked on last stream, where when the menu popped up, it would suddenly take away the focus from the line edit and you couldn't type anymore. So we don't want that. We want to keep the focus there. All right, and then GUI input. So this, I guess, is on the line edit control, line edit. We want to say pop-up menu is what that's called now. Line edit, pop-up menu. All right, we'll get through all of the boring variable renames and get onto something more interesting, hopefully, soon. Activity field becomes line edit. And then this, so we'll have text changed, which would be different than, let's say, yeah, I guess we'll do a similar signal, text entered. So we'll just forward this on to emit signal. Oh, and I forgot to put the signal up here, actually. So we also need to emit signal text changed and pass along the new text. Down here, we need to do text entered. It's a Godot VS Code integration bug that puts these double extra quotes on there. It's annoying. Okay, text entered. We probably want to emit the signal when someone specifically clicks an item. So in here, we would also want to emit this signal. All right, so let's get these signals connected. Over in our new refactored scene here, we want the line edit. It was text changed. And yep, I think we named that the way that it should be named. I wish I had this in VS Code. You know, in the Godot editor, it puts a little like arrow thing next to methods that are connected to signals in the scene that you're editing, which is super nice. Then I can see like, okay, this is connected to a signal, and I can click the little thing. I would love if that got added to the VS Code integration. All right, and the other signal from line edit that we wanted was text entered. And from button, we wanted pressed. I think we named that right, on button pressed. Just verify. On button pressed. And from pop-up menu, we wanted index pressed. All right, so now the signal should be connected. Insofar as I can tell that code looks good by like looking at it with my eyeballs, this looks good. So let's integrate this into our main scene. We now have this, what is it? Oh, it's called HBox container. Okay, so this will be activity menu, activity field, activity field. And we will need to change its label to, what did we call this before? Activity colon. If we wanted that to update in real time, we could make this be a tool script. Is that a good idea? I'm always reluctant to make things tool scripts because they can crash the editor or do weird things. We can try it, or not. Tool. Yeah, okay. That's the Godot 3 way of doing that. I've been doing Godot 4 all week. Okay. And it's not going to work now because we'd actually need to reload the editor, right? Let's just try it. Just reload current project and see what happens. Activity field. Label is label. If we set this to activity. Nope, doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work, but whatever. I'm going to get rid of the tool. It's not going to be a tool script. I don't care that it says label and I can't see that it's supposed to say activity. Well, it's fine. Okay, and then we need to connect to some signals. Our text changed, which should be at the bottom. Yes. And we'll move that up to where we had those old activity methods, which was up here. And the other signal we need to connect to also. And then I'm going to have to look at the diffs in Git to see what the code we need to run there is. All right, another VS Code integration bug is we get this :var. That's not right. I know these are strings, so I'll put the type hint for string there. Okay, and let's get up our git diff here. So the code that I removed that would have happened in these is when the text changes to empty text, we want to disable the timer start button, and when it changes to not empty text, we want to re-enable the start button. So that's the first thing. Let's go on here. So text changed. We need to say if new text equals this. We're going to say timer button disabled true. Actually, we can reduce this to a single statement. So disabled equals new text equals true. I like to put those kind of Boolean assignments in parentheses. I don't think it's required in GDScript, but I like it. It looks better. Or not equals true, equals empty string. Okay, and then text entered, we want to actually start the timer if the text is not empty, I think. Let's go back and look at the diff. So that's like if you typed in some text and pressed the enter key, which only really matters for the desktop. No, it matters on mobile too. It matters on mobile. You can hit the like enter button on the mobile on-screen keyboard. So what did that look like? Would have been on timer something. No. Okay, on timer button pressed. This is what we want to have happen, but only if the text is not empty. So let's copy that. And we'll put it here. and say if new text does not equal empty text, then we'll just start up the timer. All right. So unfortunately, like I broke the rest of the app in a bunch of different ways. Testing it's going to take a little bit of effort. Oh, and the loading of the activity list, this needs to work differently. So what we're going to do is we are going to load the script, our autocomplete. What do we call it? Autocomplete. Crabsoft. So did you do some work on it off stream? I did some very incomplete work on it off stream. Like I mentioned way at the beginning of the stream, I had kind of a rough week this week, just real exhausted. So I would really want to work on it, and then I'd sit down on my computer and I'd start working on it for like 10 minutes and be like, I'm going to sleep, or I'm going to go play a video game or something. I've been playing Rogue Legacy 2 on the Xbox. That is a fun game. I'm really enjoying it. I played probably like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of it this week, which for me is like a lot of video games. This is the way. Yeah, so basically I completely broke it off stream and made no progress, but we're fixing it up. We're getting it back into shape. And I'm hoping also, well, I don't know. Do you guys like the app building streams? I kind of had hoped that last stream would be the last one working on this, and then move on to something else. Maybe it would be fun to move on to working on the WebXR stuff in Godot 4 on stream. That could be interesting, particularly as it seems to be getting closer to being able to do meaningful stuff in it. But I don't know. It could happen that by next Friday, I'll be like, I still want to work on that distraction timer. I don't know. What was I doing? I was looking up the name of this autocomplete dropdown. I want the scene up too. Okay, so I'm going to load the autocomplete dropdown script. I'm going to preload it. This is so that we can access the data source class. Source UI autocomplete dropdown GD. Dev is dev. Just here to mock. Thank you, Crabsoft. All right, so what we want to do is we want to make our own activity list data source. It'll be like activity data source, which is going to be a autocomplete dropdown array data source. And in this one where we do load activity list, we are going to make the data. So we don't need to loop here. I don't think. No, we do need to loop. We do need to still loop. So we're going to have to say var data for activity data. Actually, we can take this loop and we just say activity data source, or no, just data append. Here, data append. And then at the end, we'll say activity data source data equals data. Okay, so now when we load the activity list, we set it to the array in our array data source thingamabobber, and then that should work, I hope. Crabsoft, I told local HEMA groups that I'd swing by and try fencing tonight. Have you ever done anything like that? Fencing? I have not done fencing. When I was a kid, not a really young kid, I think like a preteen, for somehow my pa got a foil. Like someone was throwing away a foil, the sword that you use in fencing, and like brought it home. And so I had this foil to play with, and I had a lot of fun like whooshing it in the air and stuff, and nobody poked their eye out, thankfully. And I think in the end, either me or one of my friends broke it, like leaning on it real hard. But no, I haven't done fencing. What is HEMA? What is that? Logan has a friend who got into it and bought a ton of swords. At my sister's, or was it my sister's wedding, or was it her friend's wedding? I I can't remember, but she has a friend who's really into swords, and at a wedding that I was at, swords were used to slice watermelons. I can't remember, but it was crazy. Seeing crazy sword people with their crazy swords is fun. Something martial arts. Hugely awesome, or historical European martial arts. Okay, cool. They like study old menus and then smack each other. I like it. That's my kind of people. Let's learn history the way it was meant to be learned. By smacking each other with swords. Okay, I think we are close to testing this other than it being totally broken. Let's give it a try. Will it run? It will run. And it still says label, so there's a problem there. And the data is still empty. There's a couple of problems here. Couple of problems. Okay, let's see what's going wrong. So first of all, the label thing, I'm a little confused by. Let's take a look at the code for that. We'll close this. So we have our setter set label. If label does not equal label, and if label node equals none, then we do this yield ready thing. Otherwise, label node text equals label. Did I do this wrong? Let's look, see if there's any errors here. Node not found. Okay. These should be seen unique. They are marked as seen unique. Node not found relative to activity label. Relative to root. Okay, so, whoa. These just sound like there's some wrong things left over here. So let's get rid of this and this. We'll just do activity field, and it will be our autocomplete dropdown, which is activity field, which is not seen unique. We will make it be seen unique. Access as seen unique name. Okay, so that should get rid of at least those two, I think. And I realize we never set the data source on here, which we need to do. So that will come right here. We'll say activity field data source equals activity data source. And so that should get us a little further. Activity list button isn't declared in the current scope. Okay. Take me there, debugger. Or not. It said 81, I think. Okay, yep. So I think this means we're going to need a disabled property on the activity, the drop-down thingamabob. Hey, Boss MB, welcome to the stream. You're working on a thing? Cool. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by to say hello. You get to have a character. Where are you, Boss MB Gaming? Oh, you got a pretty normal looking orc. You're just a workaday blue collar orc kind of guy. If orcs ever have collars. Okay, so let's add another property here. We'll export a bool property for disabled. Oh, come on, disabled, which starts as false. And we'll have a setget, set disabled, which we'll put right below our other setter here. Set disabled, disabled. If disabled is not equal p disabled, then we also need to wait for ready if some stuff doesn't exist. In this case, we care about the line edit and the button, which we did not assign to anything here. So verify that we have a scene unique name for that button. We do. So we only need to check one of them. We'll say if line edit equals null, then we do this yield ready thing. I hope everyone's familiar with why we need to do that. It's because the exported properties get set by Godot right after the object is loaded, but before it's added to the scene. So if we just straight set this, none of these onReady things would have happened because it hasn't been assigned to the scene yet, and all of these objects that are created by instancing the scene would be null. So we have to do this this yield thing, which says, okay, we're going to hang on to this disabled that you sent us and actually set it once those nodes get loaded. Or created, once those nodes get created and added as children of this node. And everything's ready. Okay, line edit disabled equals p disabled. I actually just noticed we missed a step here too. Hang on. So once we've done this, we need to assign label equals p label. And then let me actually just use that. That'll confuse me less later, I hope. And then down here we need to do the same thing. Or hang on, let's do it first before the yield. So disabled equals p disabled. And then here we'll do disabled. And then the button too. So button and line edit need to get disabled or enabled together. And that should be good. All right. Now we need to go through here, and anytime we are disabling the... Oh, actually disabled isn't the name of the property on a line edit. That's editable. That makes things fun. So line edit is editable, which is the opposite of disabled. So editable when not disabled. Okay. So activity field disabled equals false. Activity field disabled equals false. Clean these up every time we're doing that. So all of these like disabling and enabling things that happen here, all of this ugliness will get removed in the next refactor, the one where we convert this to a real state machine. But for now, I just want it to run to make sure that the other stuff works. And then once we're sure that that works, we will start that other refactor. Activity field disabled equals false. Okay, is that everything? Crabsoft, I remember back when I believed in refactors. What happened, Crabsoft? You've lost your faith in our Lord and Savior refactor? NJ, I came by looking for how to migrate Godot into a chatbot and also found some useful other stuff in your stream log. Thanks for putting your work out there. I plan on opening my stuff up too. Awesome. Thanks for coming to the stream, NJ. I'm glad you find it useful. And yeah, if you do start putting your stuff out there, drop me a link. I'd like to check it out. What kind of character did you get? Oh, you got the guy with my haircut, meaning no hair in the middle, and a sweet looking long axe thing. Does anyone know what those long axe things are called? My brain wants to say halberd, but I don't actually even know what that is. Those HEMA people would know what it is. Let me tell you about how enums were faster and made more sense at the time. Yes, yes. Okay. So let's give this a try again. Let's run it again, see what happens. Hey, it started, and hey, we got these. Okay, so we need to set up the sizing thing to do. This should be exactly the right, width to fit underneath this line edit. Ooh, and we crash. Invalid index on text control. That's interesting. Start timer on timer button pressed. Activity field text entered. Let's go check out what that's trying to do. Be sweet if you took me there. No, okay, I'll do it myself. Activity name. Oh, because it's got to grab the text from. Yeah, okay, so we need an accessor for that. So this will also be an export thing, export string text. We'll start out as empty. And we'll do both a set and a get for this one. Set text, get text. Oh, it's just saying it's not defined. Cool, we will define it. Don't worry. Hold your horses, VS Code. We will define all the things. Okay, func set text, p text, string void. I'll just put a pass in there for now so I can type this other method before I forget what I'm doing. Always a risk. And this one's easy. This one we just return from the line edit. Or actually, hang on. Do we want to shadow this on our own variable? I'm going to make an executive decision and say no. We are just going to shadow the line edit. It'll just return its text. And then here we can do pretty much the same thing that we are doing. Will this get confusing, though, if we shadow it and then try to use it like a local variable? We could just decide to not ever use it as a local variable. We could say text equals line edit text return text so that it's always up to date. No, I don't know. Let's just do this, and then if problems happen, we'll deal with them. The reason that I'm worried about this is because there's an inconsistency in how these setter-getter functions are called in Godot 3. So internally in this class, if I say text, it's going to give me this like local variable that we can't really see that's backing this text property, as opposed to calling the getText method. And I don't want that to confuse me later when I'm like, why is text empty? But clearly there's text. In Godot 4, you don't have that. You have to like manage your own backing variables, or just like you cannot make a backing variable, which is what I would do here, and then I can't get confused. But unfortunately, I'll just have to deal with this ambiguous situation that may confuse me later. So we got to do a similar thing to here. Say if line edit equals null, then we wait, and then line edit text equals p text, and we're just not going to mess with that backing variable, because if we set it here in text, that would mean it would get changed when calling this, but then when people actually type in it, it wouldn't get changed. And yeah, this is the simplest, least weird, I think, way to do this. Okay, so that will solve, I hope, the crash that we just had there. Let's try it. Pick a thing. Oh, okay, so it took a second to load. That's interesting. I wonder if we should have a method we can call to like refresh it out of band, you know, so it could just immediately update once the data came in. Oh, selecting that didn't work. Autocomplete timer was value editable. Okay, don't stop editing editable. Let me just search in the main script for editable. Edit. Not editable. Okay, this is now going to be disabled. It's true. No more editables. Blah. Oh, and that immediately starts the timer, and then immediately gets to our error that we need this. Whoa. Gets to our error that we need the state machine to solve here. Cannot start new timer when timer is already running. Null. Interesting. I don't know what that null is about. Okay, so I think we actually don't want it to immediately start once we select something from the dropdown. I think we want to still press the start button, because what if we want to edit the text, like something's close but it's not quite right? So I'm going to make a change to here. We added this, but I don't want it. I suppose there's a situation when I might want it. So we'll add a new signal for it, text selected, which will happen when the dropdown is something's picked from the dropdown, so we can distinguish between the two in case we want different behaviors. Always guard against fat fingers when building a mobile app. Yes. So. Oh, but this doesn't get. Okay, so we do need to do a thing when that happens, but just not start the timer right away. So let's connect to that signal that we just made. Text selected. Or actually, could this be the same as the text changed? I think it can, actually. Hang on. Delete you. We don't want you. Let's go get rid of this text selected. In our case, we actually want to do the exact same thing as our text changed. So connect. Or should this just be text changed? I could see an argument for that. Let's just try this for now. ArtMad, sorry ArtMad, welcome to the stream first of all, but sorry about all the characters. This overlay is a Godot app that we made on stream like a year ago, so like the fact that the characters stay around is totally my fault. I could edit this app and make it not do that. But it's just not been on my to-do list for a really long time. But what I want to do is have the characters fade away if people don't say anything after a while. But yeah, sorry for the characters. You know, it is open source. the stream overlay we use is on my GitLab. If someone made a merge request that made the characters fade away after a certain period of time, I wouldn't reject it. Let's just say that. Where the heck were we? Yeah, seriously, what were we doing? Oh, I think we were gonna check that select a thing, and then the start button becomes available. Cool. So that state change is right. The one thing I said about refreshing the list, I do want to do that. So where would be the right place to signal? Well, it does. I could see an argument for putting that on the data source class, but that sounds like more complication than I want to deal with right now. So how about we just make this how about we just make a public refresh pop-up menu method that takes whatever is currently in the filter and calls the internal refresh one, which we would grab that from the line edit text. And then we can have our main script call that as soon as the data is available, once we get the response back from Supabase with the data. So that would go here. We would say activity field refresh pop-up menu. It's 2 lines of code. You're killing me. Oh, thanks, Armand. I'm glad you enjoyed the rollback add-on and the tutorials. Assuming you enjoyed tutorials. I guess you just said rollback code. I don't know if you watched tutorials. I'm assuming you did. yeah, so Crabsoft. Is it really 2 lines of code though? So like, let's just visualize how we would implement this, right? We would need a timer that after a period of time would start fading the character away. So we need a timer, and we need a tween or an animation player to do the fading. And then we also need to fade back in once someone says something again. And like we need to manage the removing and adding back of the characters to the collision. Or maybe we would take them out of the scene temporarily. Because like I don't want you to get a new character when you come back in, right? I want you to have the same character you had before. So it's more than 2 lines of code. It's a bunch of stuff. We would need to add a bunch of stuff. We need one animation that restarts on talk. I mean, so you're thinking an animation player. You could do it with an animation player that just like, rather than the timer, the animation would just be like, 30 seconds long. And then after the 30 seconds, it starts to fade. But we still need to fade back in. I don't know. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do, Crabsoft. Let's get this activity thing working, the drop down, and then let's just go over to the project that is the overlay, and let's give this a shot. Let's put 20 minutes to it. 20 minutes, and we'll see what we get. All right, where the heck was I? We will test this. So, actually I have to be really fast to test this. So what I need to do is I need to start it and then hit this right away. I want to hit it before the data is loaded. Aha, I did it. So I pressed it before the data was loaded and then it came in. Bam. And that works. All of these empty ones shouldn't exist. We should have a constraint in the database that prevents them, but we don't currently. That's on my to-do list. So this is working. Label still isn't changing. Why? Why is label still not changing? Activity field. Inspector. It's what? Okay. I wonder if this has something to do with like changing it to a tool script and back. I'm just going to reload the current project. And let's change this to activity : set text on null instance with value type string. That's on 44. Not this script 44, the other script 44. Why is this still null? No, that wasn't it. I was about to say it's called status label, but it's not. Oh, this needs to be a scene unique node. There we go. Scene unique node. Now, there we go. It says activity. Yay! Why isn't the drop down the right width though? Because we didn't write that code yet. We didn't write that code yet, Crabsoft. We have this to do. Resize pop-up menu to correct dimensions. So we need to get the global position of the line edit and then add some rects to it. So first of all, I want to make sure that in our onReady, where's our onReady? We tell our pop-up menu to be set as top level. That makes it so that its position is always global, that it can't be affected by its parent's position, which is important. And then wait, what are the arguments to pop-up? Can we pass some of this into pop-up? Button's not working for me right now. Let's go to the help in here. So pop-up, we give a bounds. Pop-up centered min size, no. Pop-up clamped, no. Okay, so pop-up, we can give the bounds. That can work, although I don't know that we want to. We want to set some minimum dimensions. Let's close this. I don't want to open it here when we're editing in VS Code. So we want to say pop-up menu. Actually, I don't know how to enforce the max dimensions right now. We'll figure that out later. Let's just get it in the right place. So we need the line edit. We need to somehow get its global position, rect global position. So we need to figure out our starting position. So let's make a variable for that. We'll just say pose vector 2, and we're going to start by getting the global position. Is it position? Isn't rect? Oh, rect global position? Is rect global position a position, or is it a rect? It's just confusing. And then we need to add to it line edits rect size rect size y, right? And this needs to be a vector 2. Okay, I think that will give us the position we want for the pop-up, the top left corner of the pop-up, and then we need its width. And actually here I can just set this straight to the pop-up menu. Pop-up menu rect position and pop-up menu rect size x equals line edit rect size x. And actually we'll change my to-do to now be to-do limit to the max, what did we call it? Max pop-up size, something like that. That is max pop-up dimensions. I'm going to change that to max pop-up size. Size is used mostly for these kind of properties in Godot, so this should get the pop-up in the right place, I hope. Let's see. Hey, there we go. And oh, that should make it go away. That should toggle it, but it isn't. Let's try typing in here. Okay, it's supposed to be case insensitive, but it isn't. Did I lose some code somewhere? So refresh pop-up menu should go to lower, strip edges. Oh, but it's not doing to lower in the filter, is it? Let's filter. No, it is doing to lower. Why the heck is case being a problem? So filters being lowercased, and then the items being lowercased. Ah, here we go. I'm not passing in the cleaned filter. So actually here, let's, rather than making a new variable, let's just reassign the other variable that reduces the amount of chances that I'll get confused like I just did right there. So capital works, P and P, okay. And then we need to toggle that button. Should we actually make that be a toggle button, like the kind that, you know, presses in and presses out? That probably makes sense. Someone in their theme could do something with that. No more confusing than rigid dynamic static body 3D. That is, yes, quite confusing. I forget where that naming discussion ended. Did rigid bodies become rigid bodies again, or are they still rigid dynamic bodies? I didn't see the ending. Possibly Ricardo knows, doing all the physics stuff he's been doing, or anybody else who follows the issues on the Godot GitHub. Yeah, so let's go over here. We'll make this button be a toggle mode. And we will make it act like a toggle button. So, do we need to change which signal we're looking at? Yeah, we probably do. Rather than button pressed, we'll deal with button up and button down. So, or toggled. Toggled is also nice. Let's do toggled. Where did you appear, toggled? Did you appear? Did we have a broken VS Code moment? I think we had a broken VS Code moment. All right, so on button toggled. I'm gonna say button pressed bool, or P button pressed, because I like to. I've been super inconsistent with putting the P's on things. I'm gonna try to do it more consistently. So okay, if P button pressed, then we do this. Else, we hide the pop-up menu. Let's give this a try. Well, our signal isn't happening. Why not? Toggled, on button toggled. Did I do toggled or toggle? I did toggle. There we go, toggled. What? Where? Did it appear and I just didn't see it? Line 5. Oh, I put it way up at the top. Why? Okay. Is someone telling me that? Oh no! 69 Omega, I'm getting rid of you. Block and block and get rid of you. Okay. I stopped following when I browsed through the counter proposal and it was equally dumb. You know, what do they say? Like the two hardest problems in computer science are like naming things in caches or something like that. I can't remember the quote, but naming things is seriously like, it's getting good names has like this huge effect on just ongoing development on a thing, but it's just so hard. It's so hard because so much of it is subjective too. Anyway, I honestly don't care that much. I'll go with whatever the names are. Okay. All right, this should, I hope, work now. Let's give it a try. Restart. Hey, there we go. And when we press it, should focus immediately go to the pop-up? Yeah, it should, because it doesn't presently. Ooh, this is weird. Why does pressing down not go into the pop-up? I'm pretty sure we got that working last time. Let's see what we're missing. Oh, we did not connect the GUI input. Line edit, GUI input. Missed a signal. So now if I type Tata, I can press down and get Tata. And then I don't like how this shifted to lowercase. That is not ideal. How can we prevent that? It should shift to match what we have in the data. Well, I don't know. It's fine for now. It's fine. And then this, when I press it, pressing down gets me in there. Okay, so let's do this from the keyboard. Here, enter, and then down. Okay, that works. I like it. What happens if I press a key? Nothing. Okay. Oh, we're good. That's fine. Okay. What do we got then? What is missing to call the refactor for the autocomplete dropdown complete? I don't think anything, honestly. I think we're good. So let's commit this. Let's commit this to Godot, or to Godot, to Git, the other G in my life. Git. Look at the diff really quick. Oop, diff staged. And just poke around here and make sure that it seems sane. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff. And we'll commit it. We'll say refactored autocomplete autocomplete drop down into its own scene. There we go. Okay. Hey, Fallen Ursus, welcome to the stream. But the reasons proposed were basically, I don't like it. Yeah, naming things, tricky. Arguing for a name, also tricky. Okay. So, for Crabsoft and the other people, who was it? Artmad, who are annoyed by the characters, we're going to take a slight detour on our stream to hack on the overlay. So let's load up the overlay project. Which I don't remember. Oh no, it's called Stream Tools. Yep. I was gonna say I don't remember what I called it, but I called it Stream Tools. Close up the code for the distraction timer for a moment. And this is the, not background, not countdown, not music, I guess chat. It's the chat scene. And let's look at the code. So we have a dictionary that holds the characters. That's good, because then we can say, okay, does it exist? If so, we'll grab it and make sure it's added back rather than a new character created. So spawn character, if not characters has name, we create it and add it, and then we'll say else else we will check if the character is in the scene or not. Character equals characters chat name if character is in scene tree. No, let's do a simpler. We'll say just get parent. If get parent equals null, then we will add child character. Okay, so that will allow us to remove the characters from the scene tree and then get them added back. Yeah, let's not worry about fading them in, because they don't fade in presently. They just appear. So, what's randomly placing them? What is the code that places them? We spawn them. How do we place them? Is that in the code for the character? Characters, character randomizer. Okay, randomize position vector. Okay, so we'll call that. So we'll add it back, and then we'll say character randomize position and vector. Boom. Now the characters themselves, let's get to the character scene. Speech timer, oh, that makes the bubble go away. We could do the idea where we have an animation player that fades out the character, like waits 30 seconds and then fades out the character over a period of time. And then whenever they say something, we restart the animation timer. We just need to have some signal for when the animation is over to remove them from the scene. So let's add, and we only need to fade the sprite, right? Yeah, so let's add animation player. Or, I don't know, do I want to do it with animation player? It's definitely like the quickest way to do it, but it's like the least configurable way to do it. Like doing something with timers and tweens would be more configurable. Let's just do the fast thing. Let's do animation player. We'll add a new animation. This will be fade out. And how long do we want to have it before people fade out? I like the idea of 30 seconds because I just pulled it out of nowhere. Property track will be on the sprite. It will be the modulate property. I always get confused about modulate and modulate self. One of them affects children and one of them doesn't affect children. Not inherited by children. Okay, so I want modulate. And we are going to start by adding a, is that visibility? Yes. We'll start by adding a keyframe at the beginning. That will bring them back into focus here. Then we'll get out to 30 seconds. Oh, we got to make this animation super long. So this animation is going to be, I don't know, 32 seconds for now. We'll get out to 30 seconds. Is that 30 seconds? I don't want to have this snap be this big. Snap is to 1 second. Okay, 30 seconds. And we'll put another keyframe here to start the fading out. So if we're anywhere in this part, it will be full opacity. And then at the end, we are going to change the opacity to nothing and set a keyframe. Okay, so they fade out. Okay, so there's the animation. We need on our character, we need a signal character faded out. And let's attach, not attach, let's grab the animation player. Is removing really that important if they're invisible? Yeah, because they'll bounce off the other characters. I don't want characters bouncing off invisible characters that aren't really there. I think that'd be weird and distracting. With someone stuck at the bottom. I got you unstuck, devlog Logan. Okay, so we need to, at the beginning, connect to the animation player signal, or actually we don't need to connect to it here. I can connect to it in the scene. Animation player, animation finished. Where did you put it though? Okay, here. So you put it at the bottom this time. Okay, animation finished. So if anim name equals fade out, then we will emit the signal character faded out. Correct the styling here a little bit. All right, and we don't want to start the animation always, because I might want to do this differently. So you're going to add some sort of method to start the animation fading. Not sure what to call it. start fading out. And this will be animation player play fade out. And I know I forget if play will restart us to the beginning or not, or if we have to do some extra work there. Animation player. Let's look at the docs. So if I say play, custom blend, custom speed from end, none of those things. Plays animation with key name, blend times, blah, custom speed from end is true. Animation should play backwards. Equivalent play backwards keeps track of the current and last played position with assigned animation has been called with that same name or no name parameter. The assigned animation will resume or restart if it was stopped. If the animation player was already playing, it will keep playing. So I think what we need to do is stop it and then play it. That sounds like what we want to do. So animation player stop and then play fade out. And then we will need to call this in a couple of different places. We'll call it when the whenever someone says something. So maybe just one place. So where does spawn character happen? So anytime we're getting some text, which I guess can happen in a couple different ways. Discord and Facebook and Twitch and Twitter all have different things going on here. So we'll say, yeah, should I just duplicate this? I'll just do it in a bunch of different spots. Start fading out. Not great to duplicate this, but I don't feel like refactoring it. Hang on, spawn character is supposed to return the character? Oh, okay, it does. I was worried I need to do some extra thing here, but it does. Why not add it to character, add speech? So that's a possibility. I just don't necessarily want this to always happen. I could imagine wanting to have different rules. Like, so right off the gate, like I want to have different rules for my little character. I would like my character to always be there. I don't want to have my character be fading out. And I think that won't happen. No, it will happen, won't it? Okay, yeah. Let's make this be a property on the character. So we will say we'll add a var. We'll say fade out on speech. Maybe we'll make it true by default, and then I'll disable it on my character. So set speech, add speech. So say if fade out on speech, then we will say start fading out. There. That seems good. And then when my character gets created, which is done a little bit differently, I think. Or not. Here we go. Spawn character D Snowpack. That's me. And I'll say fade out on speech equals false. There. Does that seem right? So to test this, I actually kind of don't like that we made that be 30 seconds long. We could temporarily reduce it to something shorter. That would have made it better to have a timer to make it more easily configurable. But I think this is ready to test. Sure, it could be in the constructor. However, we never call the constructor. We're always calling the spawn character thing. I don't know. This is fine. This is fine. We can inject this property after construction. So how are we going to test it? Let's I guess it's in character. Let's just, for temporary, I'm going to drag this all the way over here to after 2 seconds, we start to fade. And I guess we'll move this back too. So it's a 4-second long animation. And I got to kill you guys over here. Or we can even run it from over here. As long as it's saved. Okay, and we'll switch to this button. No. Get out of there. This button. So let me say something. Something. Okay, someone else say something. Say something in chat. Let's get some characters up there. See them fade away or not. Maybe I should have left my character to fade away so that I could actually test it. Okay, here we go. Devlog Logan faded away. Oh. Okay, so a couple of things. We need to fade away the whole character, not just the sprite. So this I can change it to a dot. So that should fade away the whole character. And we never attached to the signal to remove it. So we need to go back to here where we're spawning the characters. We need to say character faded out. That's what we called that signal, right? I think. Character faded out. Self on character faded out character. All right, so let's go here. Func on character faded out character. Now here we need to say var parent equals character get parent. So if parent remove child character. All right, take two. And I want to run it over here on this screen. Too many screens. Oh, jeez. All right, get in there, guys. Say some stuff. Here we go, the clean. Oh, and the clean faded away. All right, the clean, say something again. Let's see that your character actually comes back correctly. Any of you guys who were in and then faded out, bring yourselves back. Oh, I just bounced off someone who wasn't there. That's not right. How could that happen, actually? You're out of the scene tree. Okay, so Logan came back. The clean came back. Your text isn't there, though. Your text is not there. Okay, so, what is wrong here? What is wrong? Because I didn't run it from the editor, I can't inspect the tree. Let's try to theorize here. So we hopefully removed the character. One character faded out. Character faded out. Just check that that's the right signal. Was that the right animation name? Animation fade out seems right. Fade out. Animation player. Animation finished. Character faded out. Hey, Nyanel, welcome to the stream. We are trying to fix the overlay. We've taken a detour. So, character faded out, parent, get parent, remove child character. And when you guys came back in, for whatever reason, your speech bubbles didn't appear. Which is weird. I don't know how that could happen though. So we say add speech. Sorry, now okay. Then we append the text. Show next speech. How's the app going? Is it going to be desktop only? No, the main target is actually mobile, but it's going good. We did some refactoring earlier that went well. Cramsoft, are you removing before emitting? Removing before emitting. I mean, we're removing in response to the signal. Android, probably. I could make an iOS one. I don't personally have an iPhone, so I would need assistance in testing it, but I have an Android phone, so that would be the primary mobile target. What the heck? Okay, so I'm going to remove my exception, the exception for me, to make testing easier. And then I'm just going to try this. Let's kill this one. Then we can use the debugger and stuff, and it'll work a lot nicer. Whoa, what is up with my face? I'm out of control. Okay, nope. And then, this doesn't have the variables, so I can't actually what to do. It needs my like restream credentials to do the chats. Maybe we need to add a debug key. Let's go to project settings, input map. We're going to add a debug speech button. Debug speech. And what's a good debug button? F1. Let's do it. And then in chat, we should have something that's already listening for unhandled input, I think. Because we're doing something with reconnect stream, I think. Or not. Is that over in main? Okay, all the unhandled input is happening here. Maybe let me move this over to not character, to chat. I'll do one in chat. I don't know why that isn't in chat. Oh, there is an unhandled input here. Yeah, I just plain don't know why the other one isn't here. But if event is action pressed debug speech, we'll just grab we'll grab the first character, maybe. Say if character's size is greater than 0, then character character's values 0 add speech testing or debug. Okay, let's try this. Debug. And I'm fading away. Now let's go take a look at the remote scene tree. Seriously, my character is still in there. Why? Why is my character still in there? Okay, let's do some more debugging. We want to make sure that signal is getting there, that things are happening. Was it in chat? On character faded out. Let's make sure that the signal gets here. We'll run from VS Code. Here we go. Not getting called. So either either debugging's not working from VS Code, which is always a possibility, or this code's never happening. So hang on. Actually, a thing we could check is the debugger will tell us if we had some trouble connecting to a signal. Doesn't look like it. All right, so I know we only have like 20 minutes left of the stream. Hey, XanderPixel, welcome to the stream. But I really need to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back in like 1 minute. Sorry, guys. And we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we are going to add a bunch of debug print statements just to be quick and fast. Let's be on character faded out. Typos don't matter. It's a debug statement. And the other part of this, you know what? We shrunk the animation to 4 seconds, but I didn't change the animation length. That's totally what it is. That's 100% what it is. Except if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. So let's change this to 4 seconds. And now let's give it a shot. I look awesome. I'm like a professional wrestler. That's a sweet character. Okay, hang on. I got to hit this button and then this debug. Let's maybe mix it up, put me in a little bit different place. Okay. I fade it out. Let me go look in the remote scene tree. Yep, I'm not there. And then if I hit it again, oh, my debug button is not working. Why? Why is my debug button not working? Oh, because add speech doesn't doesn't do all the mechanics of spawning the character, which is what's re-showing them. It okay. I have a suspicion. That this is that. Ooh, Xander Pixel just snuck in there. Actually, I don't know how that worked. To be honest, the keys shouldn't be saved in here. Okay, I suspect that we've got this. I think we've got this. Let me just remove the debug junk, and we'll try it for real. We'll try it for real. I won't fade away, and we will remove that debug thing I added earlier. The debug key, which is a pretty ineffective debug key. I should have made a cooler thing. And make the animation the full length. How long is our speech timer? 10 seconds. So our speech timer and our fading out are actually in conflict. Now that I'm thinking about this. So how does the speech timer work? I think we actually want to start fading out each time that we display a speech bubble and not each time we add speech. I think that is correct. Okay. And let's make the animation player back to our 30 seconds, or 32 seconds. Okay, so here is 30, here's 32. Let's save it, and let's give this a try. I will launch it over here. Nope. And where's my character? I don't have a character. What did I do? What? Okay. Play, and I have no character. I thought we had it. What did I do? So chat, or no, is it in main? Okay, main spawns a me. Spawn character. Oh, did I save the character with the wrong? Here we go. That's totally what it's gonna be. Okay, I know what we got to do. Animation player. We left the animation stuck back here. We need to add a reset animation. That name already exists. Fine. Take me to the reset animation, and we will. Why didn't this work? Very strange. That reset animation should have caused the editor to save with the full opacity, but it didn't. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay. But I think it's gonna work this time. All right, we'll launch it over here. There we go. Escape 1. Okay, so there's my character. All right, say some things. Put some words out there. Let's see what happens. I'll say some things too. Is everyone? Are you still there, guys? All right. Well, oh, here we go, Xander Pixel. You got a sweet one. Well, actually, we all got pretty cool characters this time, but Xander's got the mustache with the horns, and Logan's got the jester hat and a cool staff. All right, so now we have to wait 30 seconds. And we should see you guys fade out in 2 seconds after waiting 30 seconds. And then when you say something after that, you should be able to come in. Actually, Xander should not fade out, which is good. That's working. And now, Logan, say something. Let's see that your character comes back correctly. Oh. I see Logan said something in chat and he didn't come back. No, it was just slow. It was just Restream being slow. Logan is back. We are victorious. It worked. He's got the no. Your emoji won't come through, unfortunately. Yeah, just the internet pipes. The internet pipes, or your emoji wouldn't have come through anyway because you're chatting on YouTube. Xander Pixel, if you come over to Discord, if you join the Discord, I can give you a special role that will allow your words to appear on the screen. Don't say anything disturbing, please. So, yeah, that did not, Crabsoft, that did not take 2 lines of code, and we exceeded, I believe, the 20-minute cap that I attempted to put on this. But we did it. We're done. We accomplished the thing. So let me commit this to Git. Oh, of course, I haven't edited this in VS Code yet, so it's fixing my my empty lines with white space on them. That's fine. And we'll write our commit message. Finally, the characters will fade out after about 30 seconds. We did it. Good work, team. You know, I do like, it gets out of control when there's like too many characters there, but I feel like there being some characters milling around is kind of nice because it makes it seem like, oh, there's a group here. We're hanging out. This isn't a lonely stream. So maybe 30 seconds is too short. Maybe I need to make it longer. Maybe we'll end up deciding that makes more sense in practice. I don't know, but this is good. This is a good change. So we have 8 remaining minutes before I gotta go eat some lunch and get ready for a work meeting. But what shall we do, friends? We can go back to the distraction timer for a moment, but like the second refactor that I wanted to do, we probably could have gotten done if we hadn't changed gears and gone to work on the overlay. But I don't know, let's poke around in that project for a moment. I suppose we could always just declare a supreme victory and end the stream early because we fixed the overlay, but I don't want to do that. I don't know. It's just weird when we've accomplished what we want to accomplish and there's only 8 minutes left. What other projects do I have going on? We could do maybe something in Supabase related to the distraction timer. We had an issue with the activities having empty names. We could try and add a constraint to fix that. Can you do constraints in the editor here? We might have to write that as a, just write the SQL to set that constraint, which then means we should probably like back up the database schema for our distraction timer. Yeah, they do bump into each other, Xander Pixel. The thing is, now that like we disappear so quickly, they haven't gotten close enough to do it. But yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming to join the Discord. Welcome one and all. So is there an easy way to export our database schema from the Supabase interface? Supabase interface. Backups maybe. Supabase, best way to export schema. I know how to import via copy and paste. If your database connection string, you copy and connect to DB via psql on the command line. PG dump, PG restore. That might be the way to go. Although I'm not entirely sure I can do that on stream without accidentally exposing my database credentials, which I probably shouldn't do. Like I want to keep using this database. Once I have it set up, though, I probably can come up with a way to hide those credentials to use like on the command line during streams. Thanks, Xander. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Maybe we should just call it a day. Quit 4 minutes early rather than 4 minutes late, as we usually do. Thanks everyone for coming to the stream. It was a super fun stream. I had a really good time. Sorry for the anticlimactic ending. I guess maybe we can turn it into a climactic ending by just celebrating more. Like, yay, woo, we accomplished a thing. We're amazing. We could cue the Queen, We Are the Champions. Of course, I can't actually do that because copyright. But yeah. Hopefully, I will have time to actually work on the distraction timer before the next stream. And let me know on Discord or Twitter or whatever what you guys think I should do for the next stream. Whether we should go back to working on the distraction timer. If I still have ideas for it, I might not. By next week, I might get all of my distraction timer stuff out. Or if we should do like WebXR in Godot 4. That's another thing I really want to work on. Orthodox Caveman, what are you saying? You disappeared. Thank you for the stream. You are welcome for the stream. The buddy Adrian celebrating with me. Woo! So, yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Hope you have a great weekend. And talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.